this is a place where I talk about what I've been knitting and sometimes sewing, although I haven't got any sewing projects today. It's just a few knitting things that I've had on my needles that I thought I'd chat to you about today. So I'll pop my cup of tea down and I'll start by telling you what I'm wearing today. So this is the Dove Cottage sweater by Emma Wright, and I've knitted this in the Fibre Co Law. So I'll just stand up so you can see that it's got this lovely deep ribbing on the cuffs and on the hem, and in the original pattern it actually has a colourwork section at the bottom, so I just omitted that and just did it plain stockinette all the way, and I really enjoy wearing this sweater. It's a lovely cosy piece for my wardrobe and it's so hard wearing. Law is 100% lamb's wool and it wears really well. I'm always so impressed with my sweaters that I've got in this yarn, that they have very little pilling. I find them comfortable to wear against the skin, even though it's quite a woolly yarn. I do feel that it's comfortable, though everyone's different, and I know some people probably wouldn't find this comfortable. It's not soft in like a merino way or like a cashmere or alpaca, but for this kind of 100% wool I think it's a nice soft yarn, so I'm really happy with this. And this leads nicely on to the next project that I have on my needles that I showed you last week, and it's the Deep Moss Pot sweater by Carrie Lane Rain, and I've got this in one of my sweater sacks. And I showed you last time, I think I just got past the yoke, and now as you can see I've got to the end of the body. So it has a very small ribbing and a beautiful textured yoke. Law is great. It's another thing that it's really good for is texture. So anything with cables or lovely textured stitches, it just really pops. This is the stable colourway and it's a lovely sort of biscuity oatmeal shade, a really nice neutral. I'll show you the cake. So that's what I've got left for doing the sleeves. Hopefully that will be enough. But really enjoying that, and when I show you next time hopefully I'll have at least one of the sleeves done, maybe two. I've been working just going round and round and round on the body, so that went quite quickly, but you know, when you get onto the sleeves I've got to keep track of the decreases and that kind of thing, so sometimes it's not what I want to knit on at the end of a long day when I'm tired. But I don't really mind knitting sleeves. I know a lot of people sort of talk about Sleeve Island and that they don't like knitting the sleeves, and I don't really have that because I always feel that I want to get the project finished so I can wear it, so I don't mind powering through. But yeah, it's more that I just have to have a little bit more thought when I'm knitting something that has got decreases. So yeah, it's not always the thing that I reach for at the end of the day. Yeah, really pleased with how that's coming along. And the other two things I've got are both sort of special knits that I'm gifting to people, and the first one is a lovely little blanket that I had all beautifully wrapped until I realised that I hadn't shown you guys, and I wanted to show you this before I gifted it to my friend and her little baby. So this is the Twinkle Twinkle Baby blanket by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. As you can see, it's got a beautiful textured stitch, and I've just done a very simple garter stitch border. In the original pattern there's a more lacy, it's still quite a simple border, but it's a more of a lacy finish, and I wanted something really simple. I thought my friend would appreciate more of a like simple finish to the edging. So I've completed that and it's ready for gifting now. So I'm really happy that I can give that to her and that I've shown you guys. I've been waiting for a lovely sunny day because it's been really gloomy here in the UK. We've had a lot of rain and snow these last few weeks, and I've been desperate to show you this so that I could gift it to my friend. The only other thing to tell you, I guess, is about the yarn. I used King Cole, I think it's called their Cotton Bamboo Solid. It's the grey shade, which is 522, and I was completely inspired to use this yarn and this colour by another knitter on Ravelry, Tink Hickman. She'd done the same yarn, same pattern, and it looked really, really sweet. And the best thing is that it can go in the washing machine. It was a very sort of affordable yarn that I don't mind gifting to someone who's gonna have to put it in the wash and do all the things that they need to do to keep it clean when you've got a baby. I know that there's going to be accidents and all that kind of thing, so I wanted something that would be really easy to take care of for the mum who's not a knitter, and I thought this would be great. When I saw how Tinks had come out, it really shows off the stitch pattern nicely, this sort of cotton bamboo blend, and it feels really nice and soft for baby, which is also important. I think the only other thing to say is that I did change needle size, so I actually went down a needle size compared to the DK weight pattern, just so I could have a more closer finish on the stitch pattern, which was looking a little bit loose when I used the original sort of recommended needle size. So that was the only other change that I made apart from the border. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the only mods. What I'll do is in the show notes below, I'll put a link to my blog where I'll have all the information of the yarns, the patterns, any modifications I've made, and all that kind of thing, so you can see exactly how I've knit all these pieces. And if you want those show notes to your email address, that's another thing that I do. Every time a video goes out, everybody on my mailing list for the podcast gets an email where it has all the show notes right there in the email. So before you've even clicked on the video, you can see all the patterns, all the yarns that have been used and everything like that. So yeah, that's one of the sort of baby projects I've got. Next one is for a little bit older. This is for 1 to 2 year old, and I've got it in my Spring Bees bag, which is one of my favourite bags to make, and it's the fabric that I'm going to be printing this afternoon. So as soon as I've finished this video, that's my next task on the list, is to get some of this printed, because earlier, I think it was on Friday, just gone, I put these up for pre-order for everybody on my mailing list, and I've got to get all those out. So when this video goes live, I probably will have a few of these in the shop. Anything that's left over after doing the pre-orders this week, I'll pop those in the shop for you, so there'll be a link below to that. And you're probably excited to see what's inside. You don't want me chatting about the bags, so let me get all my bits out, because this is in pieces. I've got 2 sleeves and a body finished. So this is the, what's it called? This is the Dog Star, that's it. It was the Dog Star by Tin Can Knits, and it's a lovely pattern. Tin Can Knits, if you don't know, they do their patterns right the way from baby up to adult size. So it comes in all the different sizes, but I'm knitting the 1 to 2 year old size for my nephew. And I'm using a yarn that I've not used before. This is Knit Picks Swish, which I've never used Knit Picks before, but I'm really happy with how this is coming out. It says it's 100% fine superwash merino, and it's machine washable, which is really important when knitting for a 1 year old. So I've actually been knitting this at the request of my sister, who purchased the yarn and chose the colours for this. And if I didn't say before, the Dog Star has a colourwork yoke, so that's what the white's going to be for. It's going to have a lovely traditional colourwork yoke at the top with white as the contrast colour. So looking forward to getting to that part. As you can see, I'm really ready. I've got to the point where you're going to now join the sleeves on either side, and then it will be getting to the fun bit where I can knit the yoke. I think I'll probably use this again for sort of children's knits, because it's knitting up really nicely. It's a nice plump, sort of springy, bouncy yarn, and it feels like it'll be really comfortable for a little one to wear. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how that's coming out, and I can see myself maybe using that again for some other children's knits as well. I think that's everything that I've got to show you. I mentioned to you about the Spring Bees bags, and I'll quickly show you that I've actually added a couple of pieces to that collection. I'm going to have little notions pouches in the Spring Bees fabric, and I've got some of the little needle books that you can use if you like sewing. You can keep all your pins and needles in there, and I've also got some of the little lavender sachets that I do, which are great for like making everything smell lovely, and hopefully it's deterring any moths from getting into your stash or any of your projects. So those are a few bits that I've got that I'll be adding to the shop this week. But it's been lovely chatting to you, and I hope you enjoyed seeing those few projects that I've got on the needles. I'll be trying to get that sweater finished, I think, next time I see you. I'm sure I'll have the sweater finished, and I'll be working on the sleeves of that deep moss pot sweater that I've got on the needles. I've already got another project queued up that I've been swatching for, so I'll probably be able to show you that the next time as well. But it's been lovely chatting to you today. I always enjoy going through all my projects and sharing that with you. So I hope you have a great week, and I will speak to you soon. Thanks for watching.